what we do here is go back.
Many years ago, I was a youth leader in my youth group, and there was a summer that my cousins and I, along with other people in the youth group and other leaders, decided, oh, we're going to go to the church and we're going to pray for like a week. We're going to go early, like 6 o'clock in the morning. We'll pray. I think we did it for like an hour. And anyone who knows college-age kids aren't trying to get up in the summer for 6 o'clock in the morning on a regular basis. But we did it. We committed to it. And it was a turning point in my walk with God. It's amazing how you can look back over the course of your walk of faith and just see moments where God was really doing something in you. And as it relates to walking in freedom, up until that point, there had been some things that had taken place in my childhood and just even in our lives at that point. My family, we had just moved to this city and we were just kind of resting. We weren't trying to get too involved in ministry. We weren't trying to delve too deep into church life. And we ended up at this church, and this church was it ended up being a place of restoration for us, a place of discovery for us, and it was a place of healing for us. And that summer, I remember 2 distinct mornings. One morning, I knew that the Lord wanted to deal with me regarding some things, and one of those things was unforgiveness. And like I said, there were some things that had happened in my childhood that I had never really dealt with, and some of those things were coming to a head, I believe, at that time in my life where I was leading, but I honestly don't think I was qualified to lead. What my leaders saw in us, I say us because my cousins and I kind of all led together and grew together in that time. I don't think that I was qualified to lead at that time, but I guess my youth pastors saw something in me that at that time I don't think I saw in myself, and they decided to take a chance on me. And I'm so grateful that they did. There was one particular morning we were praying, and the Lord the Lord gave someone a word about dealing with unforgiveness in our lives. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, this can't be me. And you get that feeling in your heart, like God's dealing with me about something, like your heart starts to pound a little bit. You start to feel nervous. You start to think, really, no, it can't be me. And it just wouldn't go away. And they were like, if there's any of you who need to come up here and just release some of this, I encourage you to come. And eventually I went up there, and what was cool is we had a lady, her name was Auntie Leela. She was this little lady. She's literally tiny. She couldn't have been she was shorter than me, and I'm short. So she had to be like 5 feet maybe. But she was a prayer warrior, and she showed up to pray with us every single day that summer. And she came up with me and she walked me through the prayer for forgiveness for these people in my life. And I don't know how to tell you how that totally changed everything in my heart. And even in terms of walking in freedom, part of our vision is walking in freedom. And in order to walk in freedom, it requires something from you. And I really believe that over the course of that summer, because my cousins and I and the leaders and the youth made a commitment to be there every Sunday, every weekday at 6 o'clock to pray with each other. We were really just seeking God. And as a result of seeking God, we ended up being able to deal with some of the things that were in our hearts. And because we made a sacrifice, I believe that freedom was at the end of that sacrifice. because we made choices to, you know what, I'm going to dedicate this, set this apart for this season and see what God does. And because we allowed him to do what he wanted to do, I am sitting here in freedom as a result of that. Every decision we make, every single day, saying yes to Jesus, saying yes to his will, choosing him over ourselves, choosing him over our preferences, we experience a little bit of freedom every day. Sometimes it's instantaneous, and sometimes it's a process. And sometimes it means that something has to die so something else can live.